All right, let's talk about digital currencies. You've probably heard the crazy stories, right? People making fortunes, others losing it all. It's an exciting world for sure, but it can also feel a little scary. Don't worry. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a super clear, straightforward guide. By the time we're done, you'll have a roadmap to take your first steps with real confidence. So, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is this whole thing a massive opportunity, maybe the future of money? Or is it just a big trap waiting for newcomers? Our goal today is to give you the tools you need to start answering that question for yourself. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with what these digital currencies actually are, then we'll walk through how you can invest. After that, we'll cover the really crucial topic of staying safe, look at some simple strategies, and wrap it all up with the single most important piece of advice you'll ever get. Okay, first things first. What on earth are these things? Let's break down the big idea behind them. And don't worry, forget all the complex technical jargon for a minute. We're going to use a really simple analogy to make it all click. I want you to picture this. You're in a giant open market. Everybody there, your friends, complete strangers, everyone is holding an identical digital notebook. Now, when you buy something, say a bottle of water, you and the seller both write it down. And instantly, that exact same transaction just magically appears in everyone's notebook. It's all out in the open, totally transparent. Well, that magic notebook, it has a name. It's called the blockchain. It's the technology that powers most digital currencies. A block is kind of like one page in that notebook, filled up with transactions. Once that page is full, it gets added to the chain, creating this permanent record that's copied on thousands of computers all over the world. And that's what makes it so incredibly secure and almost impossible to cheat. So, a transaction happens in 4 pretty simple steps. 1, you announce to the network that you want to make a transaction. 2, computers all over the network check it and record it. 3, your transaction gets bundled up with a bunch of others into a new block. And 4, that block gets locked onto the end of the chain permanently. And once it's on there, it can't be changed. That's the secret sauce. Okay, so the theory is cool, but how do you actually buy some? Let's get down to brass tacks and walk through the exact steps to make your very first investment. It really boils down to these 4 things. First, you need a place to buy and sell, which is called an exchange. You've probably heard of big ones like Binance, but you should always research to find one you trust. Then you'll register and verify who you are, just like opening a bank account, add some money, and then you're ready to start buying. So, how do you get money in there? Well, you usually have 2 main options. In some countries, like the UAE and Saudi Arabia, you might be able to use a credit card directly. But for most other places, a method called peer-to-peer, or P2P, is way more common. It's simple. You're just buying directly from another verified person on the platform using your own local payment apps. Now, here's a little pro tip for all the beginners out there. Instead of buying something like Bitcoin directly, it's usually way easier and cheaper to first buy something called USDT, or Tether. Just think of it as a digital US dollar. Its value is stable, it's always worth $1. You buy USDT first, and then you use that USDT to swap for any other currency you want. It's a great starting point. Okay, let's hit pause for a second. Before you even think about investing $1, we have to talk about the most important topic of all, security. This world is filled with opportunity, but you know what? It's also filled with scammers. Let's make sure you know exactly how to spot them. I want you to burn this quote into your memory. It might sound harsh, but it's the absolute truth. Scammers prey on one thing: greed. That little voice that wants fast, easy, guaranteed money, that is the bait on their hook. And you have to remember, if it sounds way too good to be true, it always, always is. And these are the giant, flashing, neon red flags to watch for. Someone promising you 100% guaranteed profits? It's a scam. Someone asking you to send them your money so they can invest it for you? That's a huge scam. Fake profiles of famous investors, weird links to platforms you've never heard of, these are all tricks to get your money. Scammers absolutely love to impersonate real experts on places like YouTube or Instagram. So how do you spot a fake? Always click on their profile. A fake account usually has hardly any followers, no real video history, and all their posts are brand new. And if you ever see it pinned comment with a WhatsApp number promising to help you invest, run away, fast. Look, the bottom line is this, and it is the single best piece of advice for staying safe. Never, ever, ever give your money or your crypto to someone else to manage for you. The whole point of this is for you to be in control. So take the time to learn and make your own decisions. It's the only way. Okay, now that we know how to keep our money safe, let's get to the fun part, strategy. How should a beginner actually go about investing? Well, there are some really simple and smart ways to get started, and you don't have to be a trading genius. First up, you have to understand the difference between investing and trading. Trading is all short term. You're buying and selling all the time, trying to catch little price movements. It's stressful, and it takes a ton of experience. For beginners, the much smarter path is investing. Find strong projects you believe in, buy them, and hold them for the long term. Think in years, not in days or weeks. So, what might a simple starter portfolio look like? Now remember, this is just an example, definitely not financial advice. But a really common strategy is to anchor your portfolio with a heavy weight like Bitcoin, say 40%, because it's the oldest and most established. Then you can use the other 60% to diversify into other promising projects, which are often called altcoins. You know, most of the big platforms have this amazing tool called recurring buy or auto invest. You can just set it and forget it. Tell it to automatically buy, say $25 worth of your chosen currencies every single week or month. This strategy is an absolute game changer for beginners because it takes all the emotion out of it and helps you build up your portfolio slowly and steadily. We've covered the tech, the how-tos, the safety tips, and some simple strategies. But it all leads up to this final section, which is, without a doubt, the single most important piece of advice in this entire explainer. This right here, this is the golden rule. This entire space moves at lightning speed. What's hot today might be old news tomorrow. Your success isn't going to come from following some random person's tips on social media. It's going to come from your own commitment to learn, to read, and to truly understand what you're putting your hard-earned money into. So let's just recap the big takeaways here. 1, get the basics down. 2, pick a platform you trust. 3, be paranoid about scams. 4, think long-term. 5, diversify. And number 6, the most important of all, never, ever, ever stop doing your own research. So we've given you the map. You have the fundamentals to get started safely and smartly. The question isn't really just opportunity or trap anymore. The real question is for you. What is your first well-researched step going to be? Thanks for tuning in.